Good morning. Um, so I know I've been going through some words of Jesus in the New Testament, but when I opened my Bible today, I had a card in where First Samuel begins, the first page of First Samuel. So I looked there for a minute, and I came across Hannah's words, and so I'm actually going to read First Samuel chapter 1, 27 through chapter 2, verse 2. The first verse is going to sound really familiar, but I'm going to read them and then I'll talk about them. So, verse 27, chapter 1. For this child I prayed, and the Lord has granted me my petition, which I asked of him. Therefore I also have lent him to the Lord. As long as he lives, he shall be lent to the Lord. So they worshipped the Lord there. Chapter 2. And Hannah prayed and said, My heart rejoices in the Lord. My horn is exalted in the Lord. I smile at my enemies because I rejoice in your salvation. No one is holy like the Lord, and there is none beside you. For there is none beside you, nor is there any rock like our God. And so I'll try to do this as quick as I can. So verse 27 is a very popular one, especially when people receive their children and they say, for this child I have prayed. But 28 never really gets brought up. But it's interesting because 28 then says, Therefore I have lent him to the Lord. See, Hannah had prayed for this child, and she received this child from the Lord. But when she received her child, her instinct, her first, what she went back to was, now I'm going to dedicate him back to the Lord. And that wasn't just like, I'm going to make sure I raise him the right way. She was actually giving up raising him. I mean, literally giving him to the Lord to be raised under the priest in the temple. And so not only was she just saying it, she was actually doing it. She was going through and giving her child away to be in the service of the Lord. And then she prays and she rejoices in the Lord. So she prayed for something from the Lord. Then she turns around and gives it back to the Lord and rejoices in it. And I think that's just a wonderful, wonderful thing. When we pray, often we're praying very selfish prayers. I'm just honest. But Hannah prayed something so selfless, and we follow through and see that it was selfless because she prayed and received and turned right around and gave it back to the Lord and praised him for it. So it's a beautiful little picture. It's all kind of summed up right there in those few verses. I love you guys. Have a great day. Hopefully that encourages you today.